Hello there! This is the Goodnight, Sweet Prince commentary track, and I'm recording it with me, the director, Calyx Passailaigue, and co-star in the film, the character who played Jet Phillips,
Hey.
Richard Walters.
Yep.
Hey. So we're gonna take you through the whole film and talk through the whole creation of it and just the whole deal.
All right, this is chapter 1.
Yeah, chapter 1.
All right.
So, yeah, this.
I recognize him.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, there was my little cameo at the beginning of the film. Yeah, I like this title sequence. I thought it kind of turned out kind of nice.
Yeah, definitely. The slow motion kind of gets you into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely gets you in the mood.
Mood for the movie watching. There's that was one of the producers, Jana, who he bumped into. That's her cameo.
Yeah, Jana.
Yeah.
Goodnight, Sweet Prince. There it is.
There it is. Yeah.
There it is.
Now I'll explain. This is based on an internet meme, actually. Goodnight, Sweet Prince, where you talk about, you basically put up like a fake, you put up the fake picture of someone and you say like that this person's died and it's supposed to be like a tribute video. So I guess I was sort of like using the meme because this whole film is sort of about memes, but then I'm like saying that, but then making it also about like sort of what the characters is like just the characters sort of fall from grace and fall from morality, and so it sort of ties into that.
And I realize how bold of a character Alan is.
Yeah.
He's willing to go to such great lengths to try to prove people wrong. You know what I mean? He tries to really get into the heads of other people that he can be successful under his own will, and you know, that's just a pretty bold thing. It's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of my thinking with that, is that like he can be an admirable character, but he's also like he also is just such a morally sort of depraved character as well. So I sort of did want that duality of like he's pushing, he's really pushing and trying to improve himself as a person, but at the same time he's kind of failing to be a moral person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's Andre, by the way.
Yeah.
He plays
Dustin. This is the first time I worked with him, but since we've sort of worked together on other things too. Yeah, and he just sort of, I did it through a Mandy casting call, auditioned him, and I think it turned out really good. It's funny because we shot all of his stuff in like one apartment in like probably about 5 hours. And I remember I showed it to one person and they said he's really in this movie quite a lot, but it's just because those 3 scenes are like spread out over time that it sort of feels that way, I guess. That's a card. That was bad set design in my part, because that card there was for like Salad King. It's like a stamp card for this restaurant that my friends and I go to sometimes.
And that is Sean, I believe.
Yeah, that's
right?
That's Sean Laird, and he plays the character of Eric. Fun fact, originally I wanted Dallas Jokic, who's in some other Passajoke films, to play that character of Eric. And we talked to him, but he was starting university as I was at the time, too busy to come all the way from Guelph. But I wrote the part, and it's interesting because, I mean, the way Sean does it is totally different from the way I would have expected Dallas to play it. I think he would have played it. Dallas would have played it like slimy, intellectual type, sort of on the same level as Daniel would have, like the Alan character. Whereas here, I think it's like Sean kind of like dominates the scene,
Yeah.
And it's, but in a good way, like that it's sort of like you feel for Alan that there is more that he can. He needs to overcome, I guess. So it heightens the drama, I think, in a way. And I think Sean does a great job. But I remember when I was doing casting, and I basically I was just getting people from the Ryerson Theater School. Mm-hmm. It was and it was Daniel, it was Sean, and then it was also Sebastian, who plays Cole in the final film. And I saw Daniel, and I saw Sean doing his read, and I was like, he may be right for Alan, but I was like, it wasn't what I expected Eric to be, but I was like, maybe if he did play Eric, maybe what he would bring to it would be something just totally different.
And it worked out, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I think so, for sure.
And you have a couple more cameos. Not really you in the body, but your clothes I can see.
Well, yeah, I think I appear like, yeah. Well, I actually appear in person, I think 3 times in the movie.
Oh, wow.
And then my clothes are throughout this movie. I'll point it out, actually. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Because there's my hat
There's the
there.
hat, yeah.
My blue hat's there. And then the hoodie that Sean's got on is also mine. I don't know if most people catch this, but there's each character has their own color, scheme.
Yep.
And so Alan wears red. Cole is blue because he's supposed to be like sort of cold and like detached. Alan's red because he's sort of like passionate and like intense and angry. Eric's character is supposed to be green because he sort of represents envy. And who else? Jet's just supposed to be yellow because he's like energy and like positivity and all that. And what else? Hayden's character Max is purple because he's supposed to be like an authority, like royalty. And Dustin is because he's sort of like the most morally like sound character in the movie. He's white, and so he's untainted by the world. I think that's all the characters. Yeah. Oh, and then I even gave the character who what's his name plays the stranger Antonis. I gave him an orange shirt because he's just another sort of color scheme for the character.
Yep. And there's another cameo of your there's your book.
Yeah.
Most of your films that I had the pleasure of being a part of in. That's it right there. That's where the magic happens, ladies and gentlemen. Right there. Right there.
It's funny. I realized the other day that writing this, like having hit the character sort of write out his sort of plans for the future and stuff is like that's kind of I do that a lot in my own life. Like I'll just like if I have a busy weekend or something, I'll just like sit down and like plan it out like that meticulously. So yeah, Alan, parts of Alan are definitely taken from me. Now, the still from this poster here with Richard, the first appearance of Richard, is from a high school project that we did where we played like this horrible, untalented film crew. And it was a film called Running Still Being There.
Yep.
And
good times.
that's what I got there. And this is his entrance. I'll say that getting Richard to play this part was like it's one of an instance where like I wrote it just for him, basically.
Yeah.
Like I completely wrote it for Richard.
And where did you come up with the idea of the speech and everything? Where does that come from? I know
speech.
Yeah.
I think it was honestly based on we had this YouTube channel that we've since sort of stopped doing stuff on called 361 Theater Project, which is about sort of these characters that we improvised and created, and they're also sort of supposed to be these egotistical actor characters. And his character in it, named Richard O'Flanagan, would do like these what we call riffs, and so like he'd just like go off and do like some epic speech on something. And so I just knew like Richard could pull that off. So I knew, having seen him do that, so I kind of wrote something in the style of how he would improvise with that character.
And it's a funny fact there, Calyx, that by the time, I don't know, you were probably like a couple takes in, and that Balzac's coffee or tea, whatever you got, was ice cold after a while.
Didn't know that.
And like I had to keep like looking like I'm drinking it, like enjoying it the whole time,
Yeah.
and it's just a funny thing. And also, as you mentioned, the color scheme. There's your sweater right there.
Yeah, that's
Calyx
another one of my shirts there, the sweater. And yeah, I tried to also, another reason I went to Balzac's Coffee, which is a nearby place in the Image Arts building, Ryerson, where the university we filmed this in, I wanted the yellow cup.
The
so
color
matches,
scheme, I had a feeling.
Yeah.
And the hair kind of plays in. It was
Yeah, the hair too. Yeah.
So unintentionally, I was already ready for Jet without even knowing it. Yeah. That's awesome.
Maybe that was subconsciously maybe being like, he's got the yellow hair, so like his character should be all yellow. Yeah. So this is Alan just like bullshitting his way through this whole process, basically.
And that was the day I think I first.
This was your first day on set, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
Did we? I think we filmed the Sean stuff at the same time we filmed this.
Yes, that's right. It was on the same day. Yeah, that's right.
So Richard was actually there, and with that shot, with that whole scene between them.
I was an honorary stunt coordinator.
Yeah, for the fight scene that happens later. Yeah. This is Elwin.
Oh, there's the orange, like you were saying.
No, that's someone. I thought he just happened to be wearing orange, actually. But yeah, that's Elwin from the film program, and this is Kirsten from. She acted in a lot of first-year film projects. She was from Ryerson Theater School as well.
Sweet. Yeah. Guess who?
And now this is Sebastian. I think it's Biasucci that you say. I don't know how you say his last name, but yeah, I remember first time I showed this to Richard. He's like, I thought that was you for a second because I have similar glasses,
Yeah,
and that's my shirt.
Yeah, so
it's my shirt that I've had since like grade 8 or something.
Like, it caught me completely off guard because it's just the way he looked at first. Like the first glance, I thought it was you for a second.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that was hilarious. That was very cool.
The character of Cole was based on. I actually wanted a non-actor who's a friend of mine named Aldo Mora. I wanted him to play this part because he basically like completely based it on him. Like he just has this. He's very very intelligent, like a good guy, but he's just like he says everything in a very like monotone way, and like is very factual and to the point, and like just totally honest. Oh, yeah. And so I was like, it'd be fun if like you mixed like a non-actor in with, you know what I mean, all these actors. But I don't think he was entirely comfortable doing that, understandably. Yeah. So yeah, we ended up
as good as that might have been.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think Sean does Sebastian does an excellent job in this as well.
Oh yeah,
I think he really pulls it off. I showed my dad as his favorite performance in the movie. My dad watching it, he liked. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He liked Sebastian's performance the best.
Because it's like straight to the point. He's not really into the BS at all.
Yeah,
like straight to it and just doesn't really care. You know
well, I mean? I think it's like a refreshing character that like with all this bullshit and all this lies and like all this pretend and everything. It's like he's just this one character who's just totally like morally sound and just totally set. I guess him and Dustin sort of both are that, but Dustin's sort of more as like a father figure, like authority figure, whereas Cole's just kind of like, in the nitty gritty of it.
And I believe at this point, Alan is really trying to sell his
oh, yeah. He's trying
really trying to get to...
By any means necessary.
Yeah, definitely trying to get to him.
And Cole doesn't, Sebastian doesn't actually wear glasses. These glasses I literally bought at a dollar store with the weakest prescription I could find. And he was like, they're pretty uncomfortable with, wearing them after a while. Yeah, Chapter 3. This was, I think, at the time of sort of making this movie, I was really getting into the work of Wes Anderson, and that's one of the things that he always does in his movies is put chapters, and also his sort of signature font is Futura, and a lot of the title sequences throughout this are Futura. Now this whole part here, I feel like might be one of the strongest parts of the movie. I think all these little, I can't really talk about it, I guess, but I feel like I really like this part here where it's all the characters just kind of talking and interacting, and I feel like it's sort of the most sort of funny, humorous moments in it. The dialogue. Yeah, and I feel like everyone pulls it off. It's funny to notice from you, Richard, that the difference between the first scene that you're in, and this scene, is that I feel like you'd been getting a lot more professional work between that day of shooting and this day of shooting, which was probably like 2 or 3 months, and I saw you really improve, like in terms of working on set and like working as an actor, and you were totally good with a lot of lines that you had, and it just like you had a sort of more professionalism in a way, which is just like natural improvement, I guess, but like I felt like you'd had a lot more experience by the time we got to this, because it was some of the last stuff we shot.
Was there a large gap between when I first did it?
I think it was like 2 or 3 months, which, I mean, not terribly long, but like you'd been working a lot between that time.
Yeah, that's correct. And I really love the dynamic here. Like, let alone with the colors, at the very least. You know what I mean? You already have the blue, red, and yellow. You already have the dynamic set up already, and then the different personalities and stuff. Colm is just straight to the point.
Yeah.
And just is more realistic in regards to the choices that Alan makes. Where Jet, my character, on the other hand, is just completely for everything that Alan says, just believes it, and just goes with it with a passion.
Yeah. I think Jet really thinks Alan is like, or he thinks Cole's just like this cynic and just like, he's such this unartistic, this plebeian fool or something, and it's just like...
He just doesn't like him after a while, just like really just doesn't like him.
Yeah, I kind of thought it'd be funny that they're just kind of like, for very little reason, they don't like each like, Jet just starts like, I don't like you, Yeah, because it's funny, I mean, the character of Jet, I think we sort of based on like, I guess partially ourselves, but also just like a lot of people we know, and like in a drama program that we went to, and like an acting program where it's like he's sort of just like trying so hard to be like get into like the feeling and like I really feel this way, and I guess trying to be profound, but in a way just kind of like anything that has to do with work and getting something achieved. It just kind of was like counterproductive.
Oh,
This is
man.
funny too. This is one of the few like visual gags where they're all like going get sushi. And they all have the exact same bags. Inspiration. Just like not like, do you have an idea? It's just like no inspiration.
Oh, the whistle! Oh, I
Yeah.
completely forgot about the whistle. What was the thing?
That was me. I was thinking that like it'd be funny if he's got like he basically just like he's always ready to go into like I think he really thinks like his true calling is like performance art and like being a performance artist. And so I think like this whistle's like he's just always ready to just like if the street, you know, calls him, he's ready to just leap into like this performance. And so I think like that's like his some sort of routine or something that he's got. I also just kind of thought it'd just be a random funny non sequitur.
Cameo.
Yes,
Cameo.
this is another producer, the other producer on the movie, and also sound recordist, Clara Laura. This is actually her apartment, which is kind of ironic that she's playing the tenant of the landlord of the apartment because it's actually hers.
Yeah.
Where we shot all this stuff. She very graciously lent us her place to shoot in. Alan's getting a little heated. You know, one thing I really wanted to go for is that like Alan's definitely someone who like has a temper. You know, like he's someone who can kind of just crack after once in a while. I love this like Roman like romantic painting that he's got in his house. I think I thought I'd cut that out of frame when I was shooting it, but it's actually in there, and I think it's kind of okay. Just like he really wants to live in just like the lap of luxury, you know.
And the beret.
This beret, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think with this movie, probably more than anything before, I really like focused on like set design and costume design and props and all that, probably more than I ever have before. Just because like I try to put in lots of little like in jokes and like funny things like the beret. Yeah, I think it's just kind of perfect that Jet wears a beret. But this shirt too, this blue shirt that Sebastian Cole's character's got on. This is from 361 where we were talking about. That's like my character Chad's signature shirt that he wears.
That's the main. That's the main shirt.
So that also had to get a cameo.
Oh,
And like this yellow shirt too, that's also mine. Like basically everything except Alan's red shirt is mine.
That is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Almost everything. I think there's some like the first shirt that Dustin wore, that white shirt isn't mine, but almost everything else is.
I love how in this Colm is talking complete like it's like sorry, Alan is talking complete nonsense and Colm is like talking the truth, and I is just like completely like on his side of the time. Like I don't even. It's like blind obedience and
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder, like, why that. I don't know what it is. Like, I think that it's just. I guess I found it sort of amusing that like the two of them just sort of hit it off.
Yeah.
You know, and and there's obviously like something of like a true friendship there, but yeah, I don't know. It's totally based on lies. I guess it's just that both of them kind of are like so delusional that like they both sort of, you know, follow that. Coming up with this is a fun scene to write. Coming up with all these fake ideas for shows that he's come up with, just having them be so like phony. I actually think this is one of my favorite performances that you've done, Richard, in this movie. Because I think it's something sort of different from what you usually play. You're somehow always cast as like the like intense, like, you know, like muscle guy, or not always, but like a lot of the times it's like, you know, like the intense, like extreme guy or something. And this one you're just you're this like, you know, artsy, like obnoxious, like artsy guy. I don't know. And I think you find a lot of the different like subtleties of that character.
Oh yeah, it was very cool to play that one. And this here he's actually preparing the monologue I requested him to make for me. So right now, this is the original version that he had in mind, which is more of a comedic, like stand-up comedic kind of approach to it. Yeah,
like your more typical like stand-up comedy. Yeah. Which is the idea. I guess the idea is like he's just so oblivious to not thinking that that's like completely obvious. It's funny though. There's the whole part where he goes girlfriend and does like the snap and stuff. It's funny because it's something that like I was just trying to be like as unfunny as possible when writing this monologue or stand-up piece or whatever. And you know, I worked at I worked at a summer camp, and then I also like just remember myself, with a bunch of young kids, and I remember myself, being a young kid, and like kids just think that's the funniest thing in the world when someone does that. When someone does that, when someone who's not like black does that, it's just like so funny to them. And I'm just like, it's such a juvenile, like not really that funny thing. But I just thought it's like, I just thought like it'd be great if like you put that in because it's like so, not funny.
Who's this?
This is Antonis now, yeah, and this is my orange shirt. This is I also decided to give a cameo to this fantastic book called The Disaster Artist, which is a book about the making of the bad movie The Room. And so I sort of, it's fun because the themes of that book, which I was reading at the time, really are sort of similar, like tied to the themes of this movie in a way. Like they're both sort of about, someone who's just so delusional and like deluded into thinking that what they're doing is great and so focused, will do at all costs, succeed. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought it just would kind of be like a good reference to, and it's also just such a great book.
And also, let me mention something as well, that Alan right now is literally just walked down the street and is talking to a complete stranger about what he plans to accomplish, to the point where he had to walk off from just sheer intimidation. Like, it was just...
Well, that's what I love to do, is like still make you feel like it's realistic and believable, because there's a lot of crazy people downtown, but like, make it almost feel like a very heightened, dramatic, emotional thing, but keep you in like a realistic realm where you sort of, or it's plausible that it's true, and it's not just totally over the top comedy, like that little exchange where it's just like I had a lot of like specific camera moves for this shot. Just that whole part where like Jet just like flies into the frame and then it like whip pans over to.
Caught me off guard. That was nice.
In layman's terms. Like he doesn't even understand what that means. I also love how the hands come in the shot.
Yeah, it's just...
And this was another very like mannered moment of comedy that I want. Like I like just kind of to sprinkle in that. Like he says, I'm not really a theater student, and then oh no, not yet. But I love to sort of sprinkle in just little moments where it's like feels very heightened, like a more like comedy piece from like the 20s or something.
Right.
In sort of a realistic thing. Yeah. So the editors for this, I edited parts of it, Aldo edited parts, and then Claire edited parts too. This was Aldo. That was the part I was talking about right there.
Wow, our heads just like dropped out at the same time. That was
I remember I very specifically like blocked it and said like, okay, your heads both need to drop at the exact same time.
And right now, at this point, Alan just pretty much came out with it that he lied to us, and now he's just trying to win us back. He's just
like completely like pulling out all the stops to win them back. This is Richard's shirt here, but then that blue shirt is actually mine as well.
It's yours as well, yeah. Mm-hmm. So right now, slowly Jet is getting suckered back in.
I don't think Jet was ever planning to leave. I think he's just trying to be like dramatic, like a couple that's like trying to, just says I'm leaving to get the others, attention.
Yeah.
But Cole, I think Cole's more ready to leave.
Like it was just.
But that's the funny thing. He just like sits there, just like.
And then this typical Jet moment, over the top, and just like has to hug it out.
Yeah,
after that.
You've gotta hug it out because they're drama. They're all touchy and feely, like. I love that vacant like look he gives, just like. And this is my camera. This is a famous camera from our improv thing, 361. Oh, yeah. It's funny though, we had to change the dialogue and all this whole scene last minute. I think this is one of my favorite scenes though, actually, because you guys played off so naturally. But this is one of the last. This was because I actually was bringing my own tripod. I left it on the bus that day, and so we had to use this instead.
So you actually.
And so we just put it in the dialogue that like, where's the tripod? I forgot that.
And you never got that back, right?
Nope. No.
All right, so remember that comedy piece that Alan was writing. This is
no, this isn't it yet. This is his This is Jet's introduction to.
Oh yeah, the introduction. My bad.
This was this is basically something Richard would do in real life if asked to like come up like introduce yourself and be funny. He would come up with something random and hilarious like this. So I guess it was partially drawn from Richard.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely something I would do in a record. This is definitely a bit of me for sure.
Yeah, I love. That's also something I've done this twice now. I guess like once in the movie A Detour, and then this now, where it's like you sort of set up like that they're filming something, and then you like cut right into the camera, and, like watch the scene play right there, so you're kind of just fully aware of like how bad it is, and then you cut out again. And that's part of it too, I guess, is that they're so like self-congratulatory and like so like smug about this.
So at this point, I'm getting handed the piece.
Yeah, I love the like slow burn. It's like...
And clearly, as you can see, I don't approve because it's it's a comedy.
It's art for the masses. He wants to make better than just
Jet wants to
comedy.
Inspire.
Yeah,
comedy is just stand up just takes away that opportunity for him, and he takes it really personally, as you can see.
Yeah, it's like, how dare you ask me to do
you
this?
Insult me. You insult my inner being.
You're asking me to go against everything I believe in as a young artist. Do you
That was stolen right from a teacher of ours, where he'd always say like, we as students are young artists.
Bam! Right there.
Slap. Yeah.
I guess I just
and then it just got this like pout on his face.
Just love that. I love that switch. It was just like just a slap, and then just goes right to that. I love it. I love the cut there.
Yeah, that's another like kind of mannered comedy moment, I guess, that I wanted to go with.
I love that. Just how I grab the pig. It's just so over the top.
Yeah.
Oh man, it took me a lot of takes to get this done because I had to do there was a pretty long rant, and then I had to pace and had to stop at certain points and go down.
Yeah, this is
It was just a one whole shot that you wanted done, and I wasn't gonna stop until it was done, man.
I love how it plays in the math. Like, it's funny because I originally wanted to cut to a close up of Jet reacting, but your reaction is just so funny with that I just like had to keep it. And now this part here.
Oh, this
is pure Richard. I wrote this like knowing like I know he can. I know you can do this.
I think I just read. Did we do this twice? And I just came up with. I think I just did it, and then that's what it came up to. I think.
Well, I think I remember like putting in the script like very specific things I want.
Yeah. We did talk over it. Yeah, that's true.
I guess what's funny about like you, Richard, as a performer is that like no matter what, you're gonna like put 100% like conviction into it. Yes. And that's what I think that's what like I guess the humor comes from with this is that it's like such a stupid piece of like dialogue, but it's just like like Richard's just gonna go like 110% with it.
Oh yes, and I love how I love how Jet feels like it's such awesome work. Like it's just so deep and intense.
Yeah, I think he's just like it's my job. I just came in and totally saved this. Like it was all right, but I just elevated it. Turned it into high art.
So at this point, I believe Colm was realizing what garbage it is.
Yeah. Well, that's what I want. I loved was the reaction of just like Richard or Colm just like or Cole just like. Just this vacant expression of just like what the hell was that?
Yeah. Oh man. No, Alan's just like really trying to sell his work. Really trying to.
This was the piece that everyone who came for Alan. This was the piece they auditioned with actually.
Oh really? Oh.
I figured it just because it kind of like runs the emotional gamut of like convincing and then also like, Yeah. But it's funny. A lot of people who've watched it have said Daniel's performance is really good, and I think he really pulls it off and does a really good.
Oh yeah,
good job with it. Because it's a
lot.
It's a lot.
It's
tricky.
A lot of stuff to carry. That's definitely he had a lot of weight on his shoulders throughout the film, and he really pulled through. So that's excellent.
Yeah, and I really wanted someone who like I knew could kind of be a good like listener and good sort of receptive because. He has to sort of be out there, but then he also needs to carry a whole film, and so he can't be so unlikable. You know what I mean? That you just can't stand him. But I also knew like Danny wouldn't overplay anything. I guess that's the sense I got from the audition was that he wouldn't like ever go too far with it, which might be the instincts of another actor to like just totally play the jerk and totally play the asshole and like. I feel like Daniel balances like likable and confident, but also like he's also just comes off as very strange. Like like he just doesn't exactly know like what like he's kind of clueless, which is funny.
And it's good, and also I think is his experience being in the theater program also prepared him for larger scripts and stuff
Mm.
like that. Just being able to get into the mentality of learning lines and.
Well, yeah. Recently, I saw it was Sean, Sebastian, and Daniel all in Hamlet. I saw them do Hamlet, and yeah, it was good.
Chapter 5.
Chapter 5.
Possible is nothing.
This is based on another sort of like internet meme. I play later to sort of reference it because it's another sort of thing about like totally like just delusional confidence. Because someone basically put together this video resume where they don't explain any of their their accomplishments or anything, but it's basically just like a staged interview with himself. Basically, like he just gets someone to read interview questions, and he like says, goes off on how being success is a mental transformation, and like how he's a great example of being successful, and like it was so obnoxious that basically someone who received this vet resume put it online and sent it around, and he got kind of internet famous from it. It's similar to what happened with Alan in the movie, so again sort of tying that in. I put alphabets in the movie because they're my favorite cereal.
That's why I was gonna ask you, like, why?
Yeah.
So you gave your favorite cereal a cameo.
Yeah.
I like that.
No, this is Hayden.
Is.
Yeah,
Hayden.
I'm really glad we got Hayden to be in this. I think he's awesome in it.
I saw him a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
he
you did?
fully grew out his beard. He's
yeah,
pretty epic.
Yeah. No, I think he plays like the sort of yuppie producer really perfectly.
Oh yeah, he really gets into it. Like he's very, very convincing in that role. And we're in Balzac's there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe I was
this
there.
Is the yeah, you were there for this day. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Richard's like behind the scenes for like a lot of the scenes where he's not in it. It's basically just because we shot all of Hayden's stuff in the same day.
Yeah.
So the last scene where Richard's in it as well, he's there. But yeah, I feel like Max or Hayden really pulls it off because I've acted with him. I shot a movie with him before called The Detour. Matt and Hayden knew him from, Hayden and Dallas knew each other because they were in a play together. And so, Dallas really recommended that we get him for this movie, A Detour, and I was like, okay, sure, we'll give it a try. And we were, I think, both really blown away with him, his acting in it. He really has a great presence, and I think he's just kind of got a natural comedic sense, you know what I mean, just kind of naturally funny, and so yeah, and this is my purple sweater too.
Oh wait! Oh, my jacket.
And yeah, that's Richard's jacket.
Because
Daniel apparently his that black jacket that he wore for the first half of shooting or whatever, it was in storage or something.
Yeah.
And so then we're like, okay, he's just gonna. It was Richard's jacket was similar enough. we figured we could get away with it. It's funny. Someone pointed out to me the other day that he's not wearing his glasses. I totally forgot.
Oh wow! Yeah.
This required some color correction. That shot there.
Love. He's just
yeah, he's
doesn't know at all how to use the iPhone. I love that.
Yeah.
That was me my first couple of weeks trying to figure out how to use one. So I feel you.
Yeah. There's a bit of the Luddite definitely in
and this is probably one of my favorite scenes here, because clearly Alan's trying to show up. He's trying to show him up pretty much, you know what I mean? Trying to
I love the sort of, it's understated tension. Yeah.
And I love how your phone also has your old phone has a cameo in this.
Both my phones, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. That's my phone's the my new one, and then it's funny because our joke was that basically in grade 9 everyone had that flip phone.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, I just wanted to another sort of in joke that I wanted to incorporate. And that's my shirt too, so.
Oh yes.
Basically, this whole movie is just my stuff and my wardrobe.
I see.
Oh, that's
How's that gig on Facebook?
Yeah.
YouTube. Not Facebook.
Yeah, I think Sean really pulls it. I think he really pulls this up.
Yeah, because
they both really do a good. I think this is maybe Daniel's strongest scene too, in my view.
Yeah, and I really feel sorry for Sean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He really, in regards to his delivery, it makes you feel sorry for him. You know what I mean? In a sense, because clearly Alan is trying to show him up and trying to say how much of a better life he's living.
Yeah.
To, and you can clearly see that he's really trying to rub it in his face and everything and say, haha, I told you so. And
well, there definitely is supposed to be something pathetic, in that. Yeah, even on both their part. Yeah.
Creatively. Writing.
And I love that he sets a timer. Yeah, this one probably took the longest to edit, actually, for me at least, like, because this was one of the parts I edited, and it just, like, yeah, it was a really, like, I think it maybe was, like, I don't know, not, like, majorly long, but the longest single scene, for sure, to cut together. There's Jenna in the background. I remember our DOP, Adrian, we moved locations, and somehow he had this really expensive pair of headphones that somehow got lost that day.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah, it was really bad, and we were like, they just somehow we were at this new location and they weren't there, and so Jenna was like, it was like, we went out to try and look for them. Yeah.
I'm sure an actor of your scale has a lot of gigs lined up. What's that?
Yeah, another thing is the DOP, like all the crew really helped out a lot. They were the ones who were there, you know, more than anyone else. Well, you know, Daniel was there every day, and I was there every day, but like the crew was there, you know, second to the two of us. Like they were there the most days, and they really put in a lot of like effort and, you know, time to help with a busy, because we shot this while, you know, university semester was going on, and so it certainly was you know, a long, like, difficult process, and the fact that they held out and like helped for as long as they could was a really big deal.
And as you saw that Impossible is Nothing, is this
Yeah.
what the reference is?
Yes, this is the reference here. This is his sort of smug, you know, his smug, like, basically telling the world how awesome he is in a like video resume that became viral, or venereal, as Alan would say.
And what's Alan trying to like when he's watching this? What's his what's the backstory of him watching this?
I guess for me, it's a moment where I wanted to sort of. I think he views it as like inspiration, like but it's almost like it's sort of like he's looking at himself in a way. You know what I mean? And maybe there's a bit of recognition there that really like that's him. You know.
And I really like the shot here, just in general, just with
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I showed it to one friend actually who said like he said something to the effect of like it's an argument for a slower kind of filmmaking, you know, and like like that doesn't you know, if you have 10 minutes then you kind of have to force your character on us, you know, you have to force things on it and you can't add subtleties and details, you know, and I understand and appreciate that type of filmmaking, and I've made films like that for sure, more films like that in a way, but I appreciate as a filmmaker the ability to slowly let you get involved in the story and the characters, and there isn't a rush, there isn't to, you know, immediately like establish this and establish that, because then it often becomes inauthentic, you know. And I realized when making this project that, you know, I don't have to worry about time constraints. I can do it any way I want. I have total creative freedom, so why should I rush to make it an hour long? You know, why should I try to make it 20 minutes when I can authentically make it, you know, the length that it deserves to be. So,
and at this point, what's going through Alan's head?
Basically, it's just that he's completely dropped the ball. He's, you know, again, in his mind, like it's just a failure on his part to really like work, you know.
Chapter 6.
Goodnight.
All right.
And it's kind of just this moment of like regret. And then,
oh, there he is.
Yeah. Max is calling. And I sort of wanted like two sides to Max. Like there's the, you know, friendly, affable, like, you know, nice guy Max, and then there's like when you don't follow his rules or like, you know, do it his way, he just flips out. He just flips out. He's a loose cannon, you know. Yeah. I remember when we were recording this actually. Richard was there for that, and he was just laughing really hard at the part where he goes, "Yeah, I fucking hope so, Alan."
Yeah,
because he did it like just such like a funny, like ridiculous way.
Kind of distracting.
And we were trying to like have trouble like trying not to laugh.
Oh, that was good though. And this video here is
now this is his sort of like moment of glory.
My name is Alan Turner.
Where he flips out on the world. He's like, "You want a video? Fine. I'll give you a video."
Pretty much just gets fed up with everything and just kind of just goes full out with this one.
Yeah. No, my inspiration with this, I guess it's kind of almost a different era of YouTube now. Like now, you know, a video gets viral because there's some effort put into it. There's some sort of effects put into it or something, or like there's some sort of message.
Right.
But, you know, it used to be was, and I guess it still happens sometimes, but it used to be like people just embarrassing themselves, you know, in front of a camera, and then somehow putting it online. And that's exactly what I wanted with this, was like, I think my inspiration was like, leave Britney alone. You remember that video? Like,
Leave Britney alone. No, I don't.
well, I'm sure most people, it's like the one where it's like this man who's like, he's got like this long blonde hair and he's got a white curtain in front of him, behind him or something.
Mhm.
And he's like basically just saying like, everyone is just treating Britney so terribly, and like, you know, just leave her alone, and like,
Wow, I never.
and he's like, it's really over that. He's like,
It was a
"You
viral-
bastards." Yeah, it was this hilarious, like, it's Britney Spears he's talking about.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You happy now?
So basically just like someone just saying totally delusional, like, crazy shit.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And I guess my hope was that we've sort of earned this by then. Like, we've earned him to be able to say that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I like how this shot turned out, too.
Oh, yeah.
And this goes into the,
You were filming this.
No, this was Adrian filming it.
Really?
Yeah. Adrian got a lot of really... that's what I wanted to say earlier. Yeah, Adrian got a lot of really good, really nice stuff, I think.
Man, I wish they could see
Shot really
your
nice
version
stuff.
of this dance
Yeah.
sequence.
Well, actually, they can. It's on the YouTube channel if they
Oh.
want.
Here you go. Go on the YouTube channel and check out Calyx's version of
It's
this
behind the
dance.
scenes playlist, yeah.
It's pretty epic. And I was there for this. I was there
Yeah.
for the last shot because I thought I was guiding you when you were walking backwards, but I guess it was Adrian. Yeah, you're right. Oh, there was the green.
Smoking kills.
Yeah, that's another one of my shirts.
Yep.
I was just finished with it.
Got someplace to go?
I wanted that he's not actually smoking, or like,
Mm-hmm.
it would have probably played way differently if, like, because I wanted, like, Dallas to be the one, like,
Oh, yeah.
fake smoking or something. I thought that would be really funny, but what I love too is like how, like, in the background there's a green what's that called, beetle, Volkswagen Beetle
Yeah.
bug.
That's what we would
It's just like green, like it's like the whole scene is somehow like
Somehow
green
green, yeah.
themed.
intertwine somehow works. I like that.
I like the dialogue in this scene too, like, intense.
I watched your video.
Oh yeah.
What I really wanted to do was like, especially with a scene like this, like really kind of keep the audience between like comedy and drama, you know, and like kind of always make you sure, like, never know if it's gonna be like really funny or like just be like really tragic.
And I love how Alan is so insecure to come back to him to get his
Yeah.
approval with everything.
Yeah, he's
And
got
then-
to, yeah, exactly. Like, now that he's failing again, now that he's not as successful, things didn't turn out as great, like, suddenly.
All of a sudden things are switching on him.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very interesting thing that you feel like he feels the need to go back to him to prove to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it could be a success, but it wouldn't mean anything necessarily
Yeah.
if he had someone to, you know.
I guess I sort of just love, like, curmudgeon characters who are just like, no matter what, like, they're never going to be happy, you know what I'm like? Even if they do succeed, like, they're still just kind of inherently, like, miserable somehow. Like, even if they do well, they're just, like, still not enough, you know?
Oh,
Yeah, it's
no,
much-
yeah. And do you remember what happened that time?
Yeah. That was the scene, yeah, where this whole fight scene here. I guess the police thought that there was actually a fight going on. I guess they didn't notice the cameras, and so they drove up right after we stopped shooting that, and we're like, what's going on? And then they're like, oh, we didn't realize. I think they didn't even say what's going on. They just drove up and were like, oh, we didn't realize you're filming. Sorry.
Yeah.
And they drove away, and we're like, oh yeah, sorry.
It was a weird
was
one.
funny.
It was funny though.
Yeah.
It always happens. That's what
Yeah.
always happens. It's good.
No, but it's funny that whole fight scene was initially like blocked out with different shots and stuff.
Mhm.
And I think we just ended up just playing the whole thing through in one shot. And I think everyone was really like, just liked the way that turned out. Had a way more spontaneous. It's almost like it's, you know, suddenly just unhinged,
Mhm.
which, yeah, kind of works. Yeah. So I think that played out nice. I also really like both of their acting in this scene. I think they both pull this off. That's one of the other few shirts that isn't mine.
Mhm.
But the other shirt Dustin had in the middle was mine.
But Andre does a really good job in this as the
Yeah.
authority. Like, you can tell by just his delivery that he has that sense of authority.
Yeah,
he has that sense
very
of
sort of grounded.
maturity and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
grounded.
Yeah.
You know, they both did.
Yeah, I think it's funny, yeah, because like I showed it to someone and they said like I realized how good of an actor he is when I saw him in this, and then I saw him in The Master of Discipline, that other
Yeah.
movie where he just plays this totally like nuts, like, you know, like Igor,
Those are
like, you know,
complete
sidekick.
opposites.
Yeah. just like he's got a lot of range, but he's a very busy actor. He does a lot of stuff. So
Chapter 7, Goodnight, Sweet Prince.
he's finally fell into ignorance. And this is another kind of reference because sort of my 15 minutes of fame, my viral internet video, "Why the Hunger Games Sucks," was I wear that jacket, and so I also wanted to give that a cameo as
I
well.
believe that was your second cameo, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm also walking in the background of one shot, but where he's looking at the map in the university.
Ah, gotcha. Hey,
There he is.
the beret. I love that. And the yellow lockers just happen to walk by the yellow lockers.
Yeah,
so I
yellow
kinda
and red. Yeah, exactly.
the
like
yellow and
both
red
of their
lockers.
colors. Yeah.
And run opposite.
I'm glad we got to get at least one dolly shot in this too.
And the T-shirt. You remember?
Yeah,
how-
the
I
t-shirt.
forgot- Yeah, that. Like,
I went to a t-shirt place like just for that one like shot. Yeah, I like got that whole t-shirt made. But in the sequel, Goodnight Sweet Prince 2 Electric Boogaloo, he will be wearing that shirt.
Ah,
actually.
there you go.
So there you go. It's funny you wear that same like beret thing again in Master of Discipline too.
Yeah, it's true. I think it's like that.
That's
same style
that's a
too.
famous hat though. That's another one for our history. That's the New York hat. When we went to
Wow.
New York in grade 9 together.
Wow, that is
And
correct.
Richard
Holy
convinced me to buy that hat.
Yeah, from this guy
From
who
this
made
guy.
So what happened was I just walked up to this hat store. I got one too. I still have it to
Yeah.
this day. And he was having it seemed like he was having no business. He seemed like to
Yeah.
be in a pretty down mood. And I went there and I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy this hat. Hey guys, check out this guy's awesome stand. He has
Yeah.
awesome hats. And he was the happiest guy. Like he actually gave me a hug and said, thank you.
Wow.
And Calyx bought the hat and other
Yeah.
people bought hats as well. It was just made his day. I remember that. That was
Now it's
awesome.
immortalized forever.
Oh yeah. Yes, it was. And I love how it already went by, but I love how Jet just like somehow got there. Like Alan just
Yeah.
took the stairs.
Well, I
Jet
don't know if
just-
I was clear enough with this, but like I kind of wanted this to be like a dream almost. Like it could be a dream, it could be real.
Mhm.
And it's something like maybe he has just totally gone into delusion. And that's what that final shot's supposed to represent too, is like that he's finally just kind of totally like just it's almost a slight realization of like he's just totally lost, you know?
Yeah.
He thinks he's kind of succeeded, but really like the success is just so superficial and so unearned that
Mhm.
you know he's really learned nothing and gained nothing from it. So
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there it is.
there it is.
That was our
The
commentary
CB
for
Walker
Goodnight Sweet Prince.
Yeah.
With yours truly, Richard Walters, aka Jet Phillips.
And me, Calyx Passailaigue, the director and other stuff too. That's not last name. Max Sydow is that's a famous actor called Max von Sydow, who's like in a bunch of Ingmar Bergman movies and stuff. He's gonna be in the new Star Wars movie too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like Max, and I'm like, well, might as well be Max Sydow. Yeah.
Nice. Special
There it
thanks
is.
to all y'all's,
Yeah, thanks for
Clear out
watching.
all
If you
the-
got this far,
you know,
you know, get like a free coffee from us if you do or something.
Balzacs.
From Balzac's, yeah.
Pass a Joke Production.
Just okay. Say what the last word of this commentary is, and that will be proof that you've watched the whole thing. Well, what should the last word be?
Swagzilla.
Yep, there it is. Okay, thanks. Bye.